have all the QBs gone who throw their balls on a roll? Where's the pocket passer to fight for third down yards? Isn't there a grizzled stud to lead the victory? The Colts, they toss and they turn and they dream of what they need. They need a hero. They're holding out for a hero on a Sunday night. He's gotta be strong, he's gotta be fast, and he's gotta be fresh from his flight. They need a hero. They're holding out for rivers to the morning light. He's gotta be sure, and it's gotta be soon, and he's gotta be larger than life. Larger than life.
I wish I had a soundboard, because in that line where you said he's got to be fast, I would have done a studio applause laugh. A good laugh track.
I messed it up. I wrote that they hope that he's fast, because he certainly is not. The presser where they ask him if he knows his current weight, and he's like, honestly, no, I don't. But I'll go fast anyway. I ain't going nowhere. Yuck, yuck.
Yeah.
Yuck, yucks.
44 years young, 5 years removed from the league. I did wonder if this was a situation where he just thought, if in the next 5 years, if it happens with the Colts and only the Colts, they have a young quarterback, and if all the stars align, the young quarterback gets hurt, the young quarterback gets hurt and is out for the season. The backup gets injured, not really sure if he can play. Certainly can't lead them on a playoff hunt. Put me in, coach. I wonder, is this going to be like, is this going to be like Jim Palmer trying to do it again in 91? Is this going to be like Bjorn Borg playing with wooden rackets in the late 80s after 6 years removed? Is this Kurt Angle one last match looking like the arthritic old man that he was?
Look, I also wonder why this is the only option. Now, I get it. Trade deadline's over, right? So any NFL player who can throw a football who is currently assigned to any roster on any team in the league is stuck where they are. Because I was thinking, man, it'd be great if they could get Flacco back over there. And it's like, Matt, can't do it now. He's got to, retire and then unretire. And I don't think you can do that in the same season.
I think they'd have to. Listen, I don't know the NFL CBA. I don't really know any league CBA that well. I know Major League's the best, and that's a stretch to say I know it well. My guess would be that he'd have to be released, like a mutual release of the contract, which can happen. I just don't know. Are they willing to do it?
Well, I mean, if there's a team that's on the hunt, and obviously since he knows what they got in Flacco, every team in the league knew what Flacco had left in the tank. That is prime. We need a veteran that can huck the football, that's 100% capable. They can learn a playbook in 3 nights. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, maybe they're like, well, his arm's still there. His body isn't. His brain is, though. He can think. He knows where the receivers will be. He can get the ball. He can still make all the throws. I think this should be a testament to anybody who throws a ball for the National Football League. This is how thin the talent above the Mendoza line and below the Mendoza line actually is. That you're willing to go that 5 years outside of retirement age.
Yeah.
To get somebody who could potentially be capable of managing a game, not winning a game, managing a game, and hoping that the other players on the field can win the game. Because, man, I don't know, dude. I've seen all the Kaepernick memes going around.
He's not. They need to stop with that. People need to stop with that already. That's just not happening.
It's because, again, that also, in my opinion, has always come down to non-sports related sports distraction. He kind of made himself the poster child for a thing. I think the NFL is attempting to be done with poster children for things. They've even limited Taylor Swift being on camera this part of the season. Right. It's like they're trying to get back to football. And unfortunately, they're kind of fucking up football if you watch the Ravens-Steelers game. So they need to get good at something. But no, I was thinking Canadian football players, Arena League guys, anybody who throws a football that doesn't have an NFL contract, who is below the age of 30. Are they out there somewhere? Even below 35. Are they out there?
It's just you've got to figure about the vast amount of guys who come out of the NCAA who are drafted either this past year's draft or 1 to 2, 3 years removed from the draft. Young legs, still in great shape, know the league, have played in the league, and they're on a practice squad, and they just can't cut the mustard to a point where Indy's like, yeah, hey, your head coach of that football team down in Mississippi or Bama, wherever the fuck he lives. What do you think, buddy? Well, yeah, that sounds good. And I find this isn't ironic. This is just call this what you will, label this what you want. This does, if he makes the squad, which hasn't been official. He's practice squad, right? I mean, he's going to be on the squad. Regardless of what happens, he's going to be a backup or he's going to start.
I was going to say,
this practice squad is going to be short-lived. Yes, which is going to restart his Hall of Fame clock. So he plays again, he'll have to wait another 5 years. I don't think he cares that much because I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. First ballot, probably not. He'll probably have to wait a few years. But, you figure, okay, you play this year, you're probably going to hang him up. You wait 5 years and another 2 to 3 years, the voting committee, 8 years down the road.
Okay, arguably, the Colts have to win. Like, just to guarantee playoff berth, essentially, they got to win, maybe 2 games out of their last... How many they got left? 4?
4 games left. Let me see the standings here. With that loss, they tie. So they're 1 game out of the division lead at 8-5. They do. Let's see here.
And they were 7-1 too.
They're 8th. They're in a log jam for that last spot. So yeah, I figure 2 wins you're probably in. One of those is against Jacksonville, your divisional foe. You also have the Seahawks, which is no fucking cakewalk now. That defense is playing good. San Fran, it's at home against San Fran, who's now starting to get healthy and good again. And then you close out the year at Houston, which is probably the best defense in football. Woo-wee! Let's see what you got, Mister.
All right.
Old man Rivers. Just drop the S and you got yourself a...
All right. So Jacksonville and San Francisco seem like potentially doable, potentially winnable games for them if it's not a complete shit show by the elder statesman here. So if he can lead them to the playoffs, like you were saying, pad that iffy Hall of Fame stat. That's why I was rooting for Flacco to be starting more this season, because it was like, I was reading up on his stats, and it's like if he could have thrown for 1,000 yards by the end of the season, a couple more touchdowns, and maybe one more playoff, he would be in playoff talk or a Hall of Fame talk.
Hall of Fame talk, yeah.
Right now, he's in the Hall of great players.
Me and Sarah were talking about that because I was explaining, where Rivers stands in the all-time yardage. I do wins, I do touchdowns, but yardage, I think he's just outside the top 10. I think he's 9th or something like that. Matthew Stafford is right on his heels. There's a conspiracy theory that he just doesn't want Stafford to pass him. But I said, I don't know, well, how far is Flacco back? Flacco's 9 spots back and about 21,000 yards. From Philip Rivers, she's like, oh, well, that's a lot. And then she also, she made a point that Flacco did play a lot of backup. There were years where he didn't you're not getting 16 starts. That could have helped. But 21,000 yards, that's 5 to 6 good, productive seasons.
Sure, but I also think playoff wins, Super Bowl victory, that starts to you start to...
Sure.
The scale starts to tip one way versus the other, because I'll tell you what, I'll take a Super Bowl ring over passing
21,000 yards. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But I don't know, just thinking about, do you think the Brady Flacco phenomenon, playing, and Rodgers, forgot about Rodgers, the 40-year-old quarterback has become a thing. It's kind of like when, I know you hate when I reference him, but when old Doug Flutie, a guy under 6 foot can't play quarterback. And then Doug Flutie proved 6 foot's pretty good, you can do it. And then you get a Drew Brees. And it's now the height of the quarterback doesn't seem like it's, yes, it weighs, but it's not as heavy as it once was. It's not an automatic, oh, you don't have a bachelor's degree? Well, you're not eligible for this job kind of thing. Oh, you're not tipping the scales at this? Oh, you can't. The Baker Mayfields are now looked at as quarterbacks. Again, Drew Brees. Then you see Flacco and Brady and Rodgers still playing at a level that's a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. Then you got to look back and say, Phillips 44, but why not? He ain't got 5 years of wear and tear on him. He's resting up.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, I do think that Favre was kind of the last of that era, and Favre, he got beat to shit. Let's just put it. I mean, that guy, that wasn't just like 40-year-old man getting hit. He was getting slammed and knocked to the bejesus in his 20s and 30s. So a lot of mileage, a lot of wear on those treads. But yeah, it's in this era. Rodgers is the one that, to me, I went to the game on Sunday, went to the Ravens Steelers game, and him running in, I was like, yeah, he's going to get caught. Nope, he's not going to get caught. He's actually going to get in quite comfortably. He's not going to get touched. Look at that old man. He's still fucking fast. Not going to beat too many people in foot races, but I mean, looked good.
And the fact that you got the confidence to take off and do it after that type of injury. And, he did the discount double check. And I think since you were there, you didn't hear it, but there was on camera, you could hear him say, like, I think I still got it. And he's like, just jogging away. I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Here's another thing. You also got to consider what you said, the thin line of talent. Take a guy like Cam Newton, who probably still physically can play NFL football. It's just, losing that half of an inch, losing that split second, losing a little bit of that instinct, it gets to you, man, and he can't play. So this is a very, very rare territory, and I'm anxious to see. I am anxious to see Phillip Rivers under center.
Yeah, 100%, dude. But I was thinking about Cam Newton too. But the difference between Cam Newton and Phillip Rivers is Phillip Rivers, it was never a thought in his mind to scramble if the pocket broke down, Oh,
yeah, and he's calling an audible if it's like a QB sneak. Like, no, we're not doing that.
Or he's just going to sit down on his ass and be like, man, remember those protection rules? Yeah, I'm right here. Cam Newton had to rely on, like, squirreling about. So, sure. You lose a step or two in that department. You're dead to rights. And plus, there's a reason that Cam Newton didn't make it to 39 before he was kind of, quietly ushered away from the National Football League. Yeah. I mean, I think Cam Newton was a very talented player. I don't know. I don't want to say he was scared, but he was one of those guys. Honestly, it's actually a good analogy. Like, he's not the guy that would dive on the grenade, sort of like how he didn't dive on that football
in the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl when that. You should be willing to end your career for that moment, and he wasn't.
I gotcha. I mean, there's got like Eli, I think, retired at 37, 8, and I don't think I'm not giving him the keys to the castle. Like, hey, here's the playbook. Learn in a couple of weeks. We're going to get you out of the NFL. Roethlisberger even said it on I don't know, it wasn't McAfee, but another podcast. He was like, no shot. This elbow is held together by bubble gum. I am not playing the NFL.
But I think the difference between a Phillip Rivers and, again, it's all on the man himself. Like, Eli never had a particularly strong arm, and Eli was, I think, the most elusive Eli Manning ever was in a game against Tom Brady. That's the only time that guy ever fucking came out of a pocket like a prime Barry Sanders for no reason.
Bathed in baby oil every defensive set, like a dunk tank. Okay.
Rivers was known for standing in the pocket and having a fucking rifle for an arm. And if he thinks the elbow's good and the shoulder's good and there's no, like, that's all that matters. He's basically a fucking stationary, like, ball shooter. He knows, as long as he knows where this is supposed to go. And I saw some of the footage of, like, they were showing, like, him throwing, and they were showing the coaches watching him. And they were all doing this thing. Which means they think he can make the throws. They think he's making the proper reads. You see the shoulder pads maybe puffing out a little bit further than they should.
We're going to double tape you around the midsection there. Yeah, interesting. It is a very. I don't know. I just don't. I'm trying to think of guys who took even short. I mean, Dion retired for a year. Right? Or was it 2 before he came back to the Ravens?
I think it was more than 1. I think it was 2. And
2?
He was a shell of himself, but that's a different position. Cornerback, I mean, versus quarterback. I don't know.
They put him at nickel, and he did some punt returns, and he played well. It wasn't like he was outclassed or just a guy, a person on the 56-man roster. I mean, he played, but I'm trying to think of guys who took, Favre retired, then came out of retirement the same offseason. Rodgers never really retired, but always said, well, I need to go puff some ayahuasca and figure this out. Yeah, I'm playing again. But think of it, position aside. I don't know guys that took off more than a couple years and played at that level well.
Well, how long was Flacco out?
I thought he retired and then got assigned mid-season.
No, I mean, he was definitely out for more than a whole season. I mean, I don't know how much more than but it was at least one whole season. But he also, I can't remember who he ran into, J.J. Watt or somebody like that, and they said they told him, I'm just staying in shape in case somebody calls. And then very shortly after that, the call came in. I think it was for the Colts at that point too. So,
yeah,
hey man,
you got to admire, like, because I got to think like a guy like Elway. You know, he won a second Super Bowl, retired. Again, he was pretty banged up, and he even said he'd been hurting every day. But you got some teams like, come on, John, come on, Big John, dust off those cleats, get out here, buddy. QBs, I mean, like Warner, even though he played until he was like 39, still was playing phenomenal with the Cardinals. Almost won a fucking Super Bowl with them.
I honestly, I don't know why I watched the end of that again. I think it popped on TikTok. Greatest finishes, because that's the one with the ultimate toe tap in the corner.
Santonio Holmes,
yeah, and there is the way that game ends. I challenge anybody, go back and watch it. This is now after we've got the arm coming forward ball goes out. It's a forward pass versus fumble, and it was with like a few seconds left in the game. I think they would have had either time to either call the timeout or spike it, but because of the hoopla, they just the refs just were like, meh, and just let the game end, where it should have been challenged by the booth, whether it was a forward pass or not. I still think Kurt Warner has one pass left in him from 15 years ago now.
That's a good point. 2000, maybe more than 15, 17, was that 08, I think? Yeah. So
I don't know, but either way, go back and watch that. I'm still angry about that, because I still think that the Cardinals still had a shot. They still got a shot.
But they're making a movie about him, or a movie is about to come out about Kurt Warner. So
I think it's been out. I don't think it did very well. Zachary Levi in exactly the box office fucking phenomenon that I think he thinks he is.
Whatever. Well, we'll see. Got 4 good games coming up. Middle Class Holes, everyone. Foxman and Murr. Stick around. We're going to take a quick break. We got a OnlyFans friend or foe. That's right. God, shocker. Should be exciting and titillating.
We aren't doctors, but we'd love to take a look at some more of the Middle Class Holes.
All right, friends and family, let's get to it. I've got a fuckery of a, what am I doing? Friend or foe for you here tonight. I'm going to read a news story to you, see if you agree or disagree, friend or foe. And this comes down to the big, beautiful bill, the IRS and OnlyFans. Well, some IRS agents won't have to worry about getting in trouble for watching porn at work, because it'll be a part of their job duties. They will literally be watching OnlyFans to determine whether the creators are involved in online creativity or online pornography. The issue, according to a report by Andrew During of the New York Times, is the interpretation of restriction on the no tax on tips deduction passed as a part of the Big Beautiful Bill Act that says that tips earned for prostitution or, quote, pornographic activity are not eligible. The legislation didn't offer much additional guidance, and the IRS has yet to issue any statements clarifying what exactly constitutes pornographic activity, leaving the taxing agency in a similar boat as Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart when he endeavored to define obscenity in the 1964 case of Jacobellis versus Ohio. Quote, I know it when I see it. End quote. And apparently the IRS expects its agents to, quote, know it when they see it as far as determining eligibility for this deduction. Thomas Gorak, a tax preparer and educator, said, quote, sometimes you look at something and it's clearly pornography, but sometimes you look at something and think, it's subjective. Somebody might be really into it. End quote. So, friend or foe? should a government agency be allowed to be determinative on whether something is or is not something? I guess that's what it comes down to. I mean, friend is yes, it's what they're there for. They're there to impose taxes. They regulate, so we should trust them to regulate the things that are taxed. Or foe, no, because they're the ones trying to take money or not take money from individuals, and it's the government's job to raise money for itself. So there's no way they can be, the middlemen in such a situation. We don't have a third party, so it's going to come down to me and you, buddy boy.
All right, could be a squash, could be a tie. So let me ask you. So, someone from the IRS people from the IRS are going to log in. They're going to get an OnlyFans account. They're going to get money from taxpayers to look through the content, and then what? They're going. If it's pornography, you get taxed, and if it's not pornography, you don't get taxed.
Correct.
Okay.
There's no tax on tips because essentially the people on OnlyFans are working on donations being tips. And if those donations are not being brought in for pornographic material, then they don't have to list them on their tax returns. But if they're pornographic, then they'll have to say, no, this is your job and you have to be taxed on it.
God, I'm so torn. I'm so torn on this. I mean, there's a part of me that says, haha, we got you. This is the loophole. Kiss my ass. And I'll show you my ass on OnlyFans for a donation, which you can kiss via your webcam. And there's a part of me that says, you schmuck should have known this was happening. The day of reckoning has come. You should have known that this well was going to not necessarily dry up, but going to get taxed, because that's what Uncle Sam does and has done since the dawn of time. There's two and a half things permanent in this world: death and taxes. The other being permanent ink, which I'm still holding out hope on. But that's an old inside joke with me and my buddy. I want to friend it with a faux aftertaste, but I guess I'm going to faux it. And here's why. You got to draw a line. There can't be this subjectiveness to some schmuck looking like Dilbert. Like, okay, I'm going to log into my computer today and determine what is porn and what isn't pornography. I'm sorry, man. Like, they need to go through special training to be able to do this. This can't be the old, I don't know. I can't define obscenity, but I know it when I see it. That was the extent of that quote. This just seems very Wild Westy, and it just seems very IRS-y to be like, you know what? We're going to get our hands on this one way or another. And Uncle Sam's dick hits everything if we want it to.
Here's the thing. Of all the shows we've done, all the stories we've talked about, and all the instances of creepy individuals getting off on something that we don't understand, if we've seen the HBO real sex stuff, there's people out there that get off on wearing diapers and pissing in them. You can't see that. People popping balloons close to their genitals. Is that obscene? Well, they're getting off on it. It's obscene to them. Sexual activity is obviously, there's some things that, yes, we obviously know. If you're sticking an item into your vagina, that's pornographic. But what about fitness models? What about fitness models who are in some of the best shape in the universe and they're wearing string bikinis? Right. I mean, I ain't watching it because I'm impressed. I'm watching it because I'm aroused by it. That's pornographic. So I mean, if a gay man is watching an OnlyFans page where there's women and they're dressed scantily and he's not turned on, does he say, nah, that's fine? But then his partner comes in and is like, I'm going to sit down. I'll take over for you. You go grab some lunch, Billy. And then Dave sits down. Dave's like, oh my God. Let me unbutton these shorts a little bit here. Tighten it up a little bit. I must have had a large lunch. Yeah.
I enjoy this like tag team WWF. Like, all right, OnlyFans, my time now. Get out of here. You go rest up.
Hey, close the door. Can you lock it? Lock it on your way out, would you? Please, thank you. So again, if it's subjective, and by the way, aren't we debating every day in the public square on what sexuality is in the first place? Yeah. I feel as though that this is going to become a Supreme Court issue when the wrong person gets taxed unjustly or even justly.
Well, I think this is opening the gates for them to tax anything. In their subjective view, the IRS to say, "Yep, that's pornography." You're popping water balloons with safety pins that are attached to your anus. People are paying to see it.
Shoot, I'm not even turned on by that. I might pay to see it.
It's a Barnum and Bailey. Here we come. I just, again, I'm using a very listen. Not everyone in the IRS is a prude. Not everyone in the IRS doesn't watch porn. I'm sure that there's very normal individuals who, not only watch pornography, but probably partake in some of these weird acts. I just don't like the, hey, you got a change in job description today. What do you mean? Yeah, you're not going to be vetting through tax returns anymore. We're going to plop you down in front of this. You got an endless supply. Prop you down in front of this laptop. You have an endless supply of money to look through all this shit, and you're going to tell us what's porno and what's not. Oh, okay, sounds good. And that's that.
I mean, I'm a foe for two reasons. One, I don't like the people collecting the money determining whether this is something they can collect money on, because I have a feeling they're going to lean towards the collect money on side if it's questionable. And I don't think that's fair. And I don't think you always know what it is when you see it. Plus, I just vehemently don't agree on being taxed on work anyway. I don't think there should be a income tax in the first place. And I don't think it will kill some. It might kill some of these creators, but I have a feeling the ones where you can tell, they're probably doing all right. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
And shouldn't it maybe be up to OnlyFans to determine whether, I don't know, if it automatically gets the 18 and over tag, does that automatically make it obscene? Because then, you see what I'm getting at here?
I do. And I mean, I don't know where the line is in that, because OnlyFans is, again, we're getting into this realm of, we don't know how to govern this, we don't know how to make some money out of this, so we need to do something in order to stir the pot out of this. Let's cast a wide net. Let's make it subjective. Let's get a couple Supreme Court cases, and then 10 years down the road, this will sort itself out. Those people will have to go back to regular jobs, and the millionaires will get to pay us a little bit. That's kind of how I see it. I think the middlemen lose, or middle women, the people who do this hobbyist level to kind of, have some beer and bill money and help out with their mortgage and things like that. If they're going to get taxed again, I don't know. Do they want to go through the trouble of adding that as part of your income? And they're like, oh, okay, let me print out every subscriber that I have, and this is how much they pay.
Oh God! I mean, I'm pretty sure OnlyFans kind of does a lot of that for them, because OnlyFans takes a pretty large percentage of those donations in the first place. But I would say this.
How is it like? Is Uber an independent contractor? If you ride for Uber, or Grubhub's or Uber Eats or something like DoorDash, are you independent? The money you make from that has to be claimed.
I think Uber takes their cut, and then yes, you have to claim. You're like a 1099 employee essentially.
Couldn't you just do that with everybody who's on OnlyFans?
Yes, but I guess what they're saying is that you wouldn't even have to file a 1099 if your content is not deemed pornographic. So right now, people that are on OnlyFans making a substantial amount of money, they are paying taxes on that.
Okay.
With the big beautiful bill, no tax on tips, a lot of them will not have to pay taxes anymore. It'll be like, yay, free extra money all the time. And so what the IRS is saying is like, no, because there's still tax on prostitution, which is illegal, and federally any which way. Some states might have it legal. And then you have to be taxed on pornographic materials. And so that's why they're going to have to scan through OnlyFans, because pornography you can be a pornographer. That is a legal trade technically in the United States, but it's not covered under the big beautiful bill.
Gotcha. Huh.
So, but my other point on this is like, so using the fitness model example here, there's going to be male fitness models who, 8-pack abs, fucking glistening in the baby oil. And then if you had the same woman in the same attire, that might be considered pornographic. Whereas the male, it's not going to be. And that's where this is going to become delightfully sticky. Yeah.
That's where that glistening comes from. Weird. It's all over your 8-pack.
And because at that point, then a female could say, I would call it nippleopolis. And I get the best lawyer in the universe. Be like, if this man's nipples are showing and he's not being taxed, and my nipples are showing and I'm being taxed.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Yeah. Rogan had a great joke about that in one of his stand-ups. Like, why is the nipple...
Look at the dark meat. Yeah.
Where's the line drawn? Yeah, very yucky, man. The more that we talk about this, the more icky I feel about it. No, I don't pay money to OnlyFans. I don't donate money to anybody on OnlyFans. And I'm not insulting anybody who does. That's your thing. It's your money. Spend it as you see fit. But it's just... I personally feel as though that the IRS felt like this is getting too Wild Westy and we got to get our hands in it.
I think the happy medium would be that you don't tax the person making the content. You put in a surcharge or tax on the person making the donation, because one can't happen without the other. So, the person that maybe the person's not even somebody. Okay, what if somebody just shows their feet? There are people out there that find feet wildly sexual, that they will pay buku bucks. For me and you, that's just like, ooh, go to the podiatrist. But for Jed's like, can you touch him with a feather? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Rub a banana between the arches? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude, they might do some weird stuff. Like, can you step on that banana? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it go through the toes. Now, okay, well, then what if a creator makes a multitude of content? You know what I mean? Are you going to break it down by the genre of the creator? They have a porno section. They have a non-porno section. And how do you do that live? Isn't a lot of this shit, via webcam on the spot?
I got to tell you.
Hey, for those of you who don't enjoy porno, want to pay for it, get out of the room now, because it's about to get very porno-y.
One of my favorite non-flagged pieces of content on TikTok that randomly shows up every now and again are women in very thin cotton shirts with no bra, utilizing a hula hoop for, of course, athletic endeavors. And there's a scene in is it Cool Hand Luke? What's the one where they're all where they're on the chain gang and the chick's like washing the car?
Oh yeah, with James Dean. Yeah.
I don't think it's
Paul
James
Newman.
Dean.
Sorry,
Paul Newman. Yeah. So I mean, as they say, is like looking up at her like she knows what she's doing. Well, she's washing her car. It was dirty. Just happens to have a sundress on that's soaped up, and her breasts just so happen to be large enough to be, pressing stiffly up against the glass. I mean, what's the problem? I don't understand. What is everybody finding so arousing about this? I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah. There's been so many movies and so many little plugs about that. That was it. Liv Tyler and One Night at McCool's, Cameron Diaz and Bad Teacher, Miss Parker and Friday. Miss Parker.
Yeah, so again, it's in the eye of the beholder, and if you get some prudish, 1950s style IRS agent wearing like a black suit, white shirt, black tie, black shoes, sunglasses, staring at a computer screen, I feel a lot of people are going to get taxes placed upon them, and I don't know if that's the right way to go about things. So again, I'm going to faux this. You gotta faux more than a faux aftertaste, I assume. So I'm going to say the faux have this. Find a better way, or just back the fuck off. There's other things out there, man. Like, there are just other things to tax than just Joe Schmo and Lady Joe sitting in front of a webcam. I just don't see how they're the ones at fault for people giving them money.
Yeah. I mean, what, you're going to start taxing street vendors? I guess it's because it's not pornography.
Well, they are, because a street vendor has to get a permit to vend on the street. So they're being taxed. I mean, it's a thing. So I don't know. It's all the talk of like, go after the wealthy guys. It's like, we're debating this. We're debating people that have a webcam in their house and they're making some extra money. Some of them make that bad Barbie, Cash Me Outside chick.
Mm-hmm.
She makes bank on there. I mean, when she turns 30, I have a feeling her account's gonna lose money. But there's plenty of creeps out there that started pumping her thousands of dollars a day when she turned 18.
But there's also, I'm not saying I spend any money on it, but when Sonny from WWE, WWF made a porn, I was like, ooh, yeah. And even though it was well past her prime,
yeah,
the sun had set on that puppy.
Something said on that puppy. It was her Phillip Rivers era, if you will.
Yeah. All right. Well, the foes have it. There you are. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Fun Fact Friday. Stick around.
Intelligence, of which you have none.
Obviously, we're dealing with the superior intelligence.
And now, Fun Fact Friday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's try to expand our minds with a little fun factiness for your Fun Fact Friday. Of course, brought to you by our many sponsors. You can find the Shin Splints Recovery Group. Have a feeling old Phillip Rivers might need to visit this site here in the near future. He's going to have plenty of pain all over his body, but more specifically, if you got it below the knee and above the ankle, check out the Shin Splints Recovery Group on Facebook. Also, if this is going to connect to something we got coming up for you a little bit later on. Flat Earth Science, Advocates for Truth. More about that in just a little bit. And of course, our good friend, the Cuckster. It's the holiday seasons. The Cuckster's in a mood. He's in a way. His wife has been asking for many things from old Saint Nick. Someone might be coming down her chimney this holiday season. So make sure you check out the Cuckster. It's Cuckster for life. Cuckster for life on both Instagram and TikTok. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you on a Friday. Did you know the Romans didn't know modern chemistry, but they accidentally discovered that mixing volcanic ash with lime and then exposing it to seawater created a rare mineral called aluminum toberdamonite that keeps crystallizing for centuries. So it crystallizes and then it keeps going. And it crystallizes more, and then it keeps going. And that's why Roman harbor structures are still standing 2,000 years later, while modern concrete pillars seem to crumble within just decades. Marine archaeologists only figured this out in 2017. So something that the Romans had figured out in the 2nd century BC, our modern science has only figured out within the last 8 years.
See, you're sitting here saying Romans didn't understand chemistry. And then you went on to say volcanic ash, lime, and sunlight. Mm-hmm. That's a science experiment that I will never do in my fucking lifetime, even if I were curious. Okay, so kudos if they don't understand. You to sit here and say they don't understand chemistry. I don't know. I think that does a bit of a disservice to the curiosity of the Romans, if you will.
Yeah, no, I think we make a lot of assumptions about what people that came before us actually knew or didn't know. I mean, I don't know. Imagine if you didn't know righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Something super simple, right? And then you're just out of nowhere just always struggling with screws. And people are like, well, they didn't know much about turning things.
Right.
Like, what? No. I just think that they tinkered a lot. I think when you have... The only distraction you have is death. And you're trying to avoid that most days of the week. Maybe you're just throwing shit at the wall. We all know what's poisonous to eat and what's not poisonous to eat. That came from eons of humans putting shit in their mouth and figuring out if they woke up the next day.
Billions of deaths. You're right. Someone around, these berries. You know what? I'm going to give them a shot. If they don't, let everyone else know. Pete. He was a great guy. Sacrificial lamb, if you will. Loved him, but don't eat the berries now. Don't eat those berries. Actually, you can eat a little bit. You have a few.
and by the way, try the mushrooms. I don't know what's going on, but like for 8 hours, they're something. I don't know. But
hey, that snake looks good. Now look at him. That guy bit me. Such a little nasty bastard.
No, but when they say they didn't understand modern chemistry, yes, that might be a factually accurate statement. They may not have understood what was happening on the molecular level, but they did sure as shit know what happens when I mix this substance with this substance. I think we brought this up in a former fun fact of, if you had to make a sword, if I sent you out into the wilderness and said, there's materials in them thar hills, I want you to come back with a forged sword, and then you will be given your freedom. How long would that take you?
Jesus.
Knowing how swords are made.
God, do I get rations? Because that might be a month. I mean, you're gonna get an semblance of some dull piece of iron that probably looks like the limpest dick you've ever seen.
Are you even going to know? My question is, are you even going to know what rocks to bring back to the campfire? Are you going to know how to get the fire hot enough to potentially squeeze those little teeny bits of iron or whatever, or copper or whatever out of them? Are you going to recognize the material that you're going to have to put back in the fire? That's my point, is that
no.
They were smarter than these idiots seem to give them credit for.
Yeah. And I mean, kudos to blacksmiths. Which is still a profession. Now, I know that it was, back in the day, it was much more prominent. Now it's a lot more, industrialized. But yeah, you're right. You send me out there with food and water. I might come back in a month with I don't even know if you're going to get a sword, bro. I might just carve one out of wood and spray paint it silver. Like, look at this.
Here's an example. I know what you make gunpowder out of. I don't know how to find saltpeter. I can get you some charcoal. That I can handle. Sulfur. I know what sulfur smells like. I have an idea of what it looks like. I don't know how to find it in the fucking wild.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't even know. I don't know what saltpeter looks like. I just know that's what it's called. If I went to a store and I said, give me these 3 things, then I'd have to mix them in proper ratios.
Right.
And then figure out how to light it.
This is like an old. We were eating at Denny's once, and Teddy, friend of ours, said, "You could give me these ingredients and the recipe list that they just did, and I'm not making this. You could give me You could give me the playbook and the ingredients, and I'm not making what was just served to us. It's not going to be as good."
Well, I have a feeling the meal was enhanced by some other substances, by the way.
Yeah, perhaps.
but Denny's pancakes are quite delightful. That is true.
Yeah.
And there's a guy with no high school education making them for you on the ready.
That's right. Flapjacks.
They're made by Flappy Jack. Did you know James Cameron says that studio executives pushed back against making an Avatar sequel, to which he replied, quote, "Which part of you getting another chance at $2 billion is in question here?" He also pitched Aliens by spelling the S with a $sign to signal that they were going to be raking in the cash.
Okay. Well, I guess it's like 2-part. I didn't know there was pushback on Aliens. Alien was a great movie. I can understand, someone's reluctantness or one's reluctantness to do so. Avatar: Way of the Water. Have you seen that? The second one? And the third one's coming out in a couple weeks?
Yeah, no, I didn't want. Look, Avatar was not a good movie. Avatar was a great theatrical experience because they spent a lot of money developing cameras that had never existed, filming in a 3D process that had never been filmed in before, creating glasses for that specific setup that had never been made before, and it was absolutely mesmerizing to watch Dances with Wolves on an alien planet. Yeah, I mean, but it was a tired script. It's whatever. It is what it is. There's people out there that like it, and it's fine to like it. But it's also created an entire wing of Walt Disney World, and there's no way that people aren't going to fork over cash to go see it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're creating the human mind in terms of the realm. It's almost D&D like. You know what I mean? the only barrier is your imagination. Okay, and the producers and the writers of this have created a brand new world where humans in the future can take over, and they're using this. Sometimes I don't like this idea of like, yeah, we're going to get in there, we're just going to take everything. Yeah, I feel like we're a lot more evolved than that, but I get it. In The Way of the Water, I did watch The Way of the Water. I watched it on a 8-hour flight to Spain. Didn't like it. Liked it less than the first one. But James Cameron makes a great point. But $2 billion? Shut up. Yeah. This could be Avatar, Way of the OnlyFans.
Yeah. Look, and if it's not pornographic, which, by the way, I don't know how many times I paused the first Avatar to see if there was like a fucking whatever Narovo nipple in there somewhere. I'm like, oh, yeah. I know you slipped one in there. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna get there.
You guys have really good makeshift. You know, the bras that you make are pretty clad to those breasts. Look at you, the ingenuity.
I just remember I actually had this thought at one point. I mean, that thing's got to slip a little bit at some point. That little hair's got to be like, no, they designed it. They fucking CGI'd it themselves. They made it never have a nipple slip. That was literally in the algorithm that they typed into the AI that I'm sure edited that entire thing for them. But no, think about the Star Wars franchises too. At this point, there's been more bad Star Wars movies than there have been good Star Wars movies. Yeah. Yet, every time a Star Wars movie comes out, I'm like, I bet they learned from all their mistakes. This is where we turn the corner. I'm going to give them money to see a Star Wars movie, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't matter. I'm going to try. I'm going to pray.
You and I went to Attack of the Clones. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah.
I do.
I do. Hey, Murr, Attack of the Clones? Yeah, when?
Pew, 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 all the way to the fucking movie theater. I liked Attack of the Clones, by the way. Actually, the first one, Phantom Menace, sucked. I kind of enjoyed Attack of the Clones because it gave you a good meat. At least it told you how the story progressed into what we knew, like why the kind of the sides became who they were. Like I always found it fascinating how Order, what is it? Is it 66? Order 66? And that's the one.
Hold on, no, that's Revenge of the Sith. Where they kill all the Jedi.
No, because it's when the stormtroopers turn on the Jedi.
Yeah, that's
basically
Revenge of the Sith.
I thought that was in the clone one.
Nah, because they still had all the Jedi. Because that happens, and then Yoda's like, oh, and then that him and Obi-Wan have to split up and go fight. Because I remember this well. It's the first time you ever see Yoda become a Jedi. Like break out his lightsaber, and when it happens, I'm like, oh man, this has happened. I want to cheer, but I can't cheer because I never cheered in a movie theater. And then 100 other people are like, yeah, that's that. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but I thought that was in the Sith one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Bottom line is, I'm still going to give you money to go fucking watch your Star Wars movies no matter what. Just like people that were coming of age when Avatar came out are going to give money to see every Avatar movie that comes out. I would maybe even go see it if it came out IMAX with the same 3D imagery that I saw before. That was fucking amazing. Those fucking like weird like jellyfish things like float doing that. Hey, look at that. Yeah.
It's from the light tree.
Yeah, it's a good concept. Don't hate it.
One of the best lines in that. I don't know who the is it Jake who ends in the first one who is posing as an avatar and he's kind of going back and forth and he has he's doing like a MTV Real World Bio type thing where he's basically saying you're not gonna be able to do this. And he mentions they won't take your light beer. And I always thought like, oh man, they tried to give him light beer. Look at that. That's a good ploy. That's a good tactic.
Yeah. Getting drunk. Worked with the natives. It's called fire water, huh? What do you think?
Glug, 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 glug.
It leads to misery in casinos. But bottom line is, James Cameron knows how to make a blockbuster film, whether it's good or not. You're talking about the Terminator guy, the Terminator 2 guy, the fucking Avatar guy, the Titanic guy, Aliens guy. Like, Homeboy knows how to turn a profit. So don't.
Yeah.
If James Cameron writes a $sign on your fucking whiteboard, don't even worry about what the idea is. Just greenlight it. It's okay.
I will say it's a bit apples to pears with Aliens and the second Avatar, because Aliens is a great movie.
Yeah, Aliens. Well, because Alien wasn't supposed to do well. Alien was just like first time filmmaker. I got this idea. Let's see how it pans out. Holy shit, people really liked this idea. Now here's the one I really wanted to do. Look how well the one that I scraped together made. Think about what this one's going to do when I freak every human being that's ever walked planet Earth out in this one particular scene where somebody's got a tummy ache.
That's right. And in this one, I'm going to put Sigourney Weaver in tidy whities. Look out.
Goddamn right you are. Ooh.
No CGI
Now,
to cover that up.
Hold on. If I'm an IRS agent and I'm watching Sigourney Weaver, circa 1985, get out of a cryo chamber, is that pornographic or is it cinematic?
Oof. Man. I don't know. I can't be an IRS agent, man. I don't want this job. I don't want to be able to subjectively look at this. Sigourney Weaver, who was also an Avatar.
And I'll tell you what, some scenes where I'd find Avatar quite pornographic, as mentioned before. But moving on. Did you know? According to a name I can't pronounce, Cleopatra ran a private pharmacy lab in Alexandria where she systematically tried every known poison, including venom from snakes, hemlock, stuff from plants. There were prisoners and slaves that were on death row, and so rather than, trying it out on regular folk, she went looking for a painless and quick way to kill yourself so that when the day came for her, which was kind of like tradition back then, that she would know which one left her looking all OnlyFansy on her deathbed. She finally settled on the asp because it produced a sleepy, almost euphoric death with no convulsions, which is exactly how she ended herself in 30 BC.
So she was trying little bits of poison? She was
take slaves and prisoners. She was just like, bring him to me. And then she hit him with it as if they fucking started foaming at the mouth and twitching. She's like, nah, next. And so she kept going until she found the one that, killed him nice and delightfully.
Peacefully. Good. That's not romantic at all. I'm sorry. That's homicidal.
Well, it just shows you times haven't changed much. Pharmaceutical companies testing their shit on the poor.
And so, wait, what was ritualistic about it? Did she have to kill herself?
When your reign was coming to an end, rather than have like the populace, Mussolini you out in the public square.
Okay.
It was like, oh, my time is up. How can I kill myself honorably? How can I end this on my own terms honorably? But, in a nice. And then when they do bury me, I don't look like a rotting piece of gangrenous flesh.
Yeah. See, I would have found the one that was peaceful internally and both like numbing agent. I was going to die, but I shit my brains out. Absolutely sharded, the most disgusting shart. That way they had to clean it all up. That may have taken a couple of years of trial and error with these prisoners.
Hey, you know what? You got time, and look, man. Back then, you had plenty of subjects, willing or not, didn't matter. Did you know
he pooped blood? That's lovely, lovely.
His insides are liquid now.
Do you feel that, sir?
Dude, snake bite's my biggest fear, by the way, because like it's so small, it happens so fast, and you're instantly in like the stopwatch starts immediately.
Oh yeah,
I watched a guy get bit. He was looking for this rattlesnake, and the rattlesnake found him before he found it, and it hit him on the leg, and he ended up living, but he was like, "We're so far from nowhere, I'm going to die." So he just finished his little bit. We're like, all right, guys, I just got bit by this guy. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, look at the wound. Look at this. But look how beautiful this snake is. Like, he had just basically accepted it, that I'm just going to die now. And they did I think it took 3 hours to get him anywhere. I think he didn't lose his leg, but his calf muscle basically liquefied, and he's just got a stick below the knee. He could use the Shin Splints recovery group at this point.
Yeah, it might be a far cry. There was the guy who's on Gator Boys. For the first few seasons was kind of the lead Gator wrangler. He got bit, and they were driving him to one of the local, one of the regional hospitals, and he was talking about like how you feel. He was like, I can barely see anything. I was like, Jesus Christ. It was like 45, maybe not 45, maybe like a half hour after he got bit. He showed his hands, his palm is just like fucking, looks like a balloon.
Well, I can't remember what, I think it might have been cobra venom, but they have like pig's blood, and they just drip like 2 little eyedroppers in there, and then just start swirling it, and it just coagulates within seconds. Like it goes from liquid blood to putty. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, if that's in your vein, you're going to die. There's no more circulation. This area from here down is gone. You're done for. That's it.
Which always makes you feel bad for Bud in Kill Bill 2 when he gets bit. Oof. Such a sad scene that I cannot turn my face away from.
I haven't watched Kill Bill in a while. I know they released like the supercut. I have to revisit here soon.
Kill Bill 2.
I know, but I think they recently released like the Kill Bill supercut where it's the whole thing all is one giant like 5-hour movie. Moving on. Did you know, for the first Gulf War, the very earliest Tomahawk missiles used a navigation system called DS-MAC that compared real-time cameras to satellite photos. Because high-resolution military satellite imagery didn't cover all of Iraq yet, engineers literally digitized one 50,000th scale commercial aeronautic charts, and in some cases even used Texaco road maps brought back from truck stops to fill in the gaps. One missile that hit Baghdad in 1991 was partially guided by a map that you could have bought at Walmart in 1990.
And I like the DX Mac or DX Max. Would you say it was
DSMAC? DS Mac.
DS Mac. That just sounds like a fucking shitty Mac program from the late 80s. Yeah. Oh God. I remember this. I was talking to you, and I don't know if I was home from college. I was definitely like to the second Gulf War, or second, was it Iraqi insurgents or whatever, aka Free Iraq.
Yeah, 2003. Yeah.
And a building gets hit by a missile. I said, like after the dust clears, you see a car drive by, and she said, yeah, that's how safe those people feel. They're like, they're not out for me. I can drive my car around.
Pretty much. I mean, from the first Gulf War came GPS. Okay. And then it finally, like 10 years later, it started getting released, and like, whatever, your Magellans, I can't remember the ones that were like the big popular. I mean, they're dead and gone now. They're in your phones. You don't even.
Yeah.
For a long time, Maria still used her dash mounted fucking GPS. And I was like, honey, just use your phone. Just hit the app. There's no need for what you're doing now. But yeah, like that was all.
It's powered by your cigarette lighter. That shit.
Yeah. Yes. And I had to convince her to stop using it, that it was actually obsolete. Like it worked for. Look, they were great for like a 5-year period. It was great to have those units in your car. But this is how far we've come. And war's terrible. War's horrible. But man, war gives you some fun toys to put in your house, man.
That's right. Yeah, DS Mac. There you go. Kudos to the guys who had to do basically what in that aerial boat, but like mapping of that shit.
Yeah, they basically took topographical maps of the region because, I mean, you got to remember, the world's a lot closer knit than it ever was. Like, there was a time where we didn't even have images of Iraq, and they took topographical maps and were like, well, that building looks like it's right on that hill right there. And they put it on a fucking overhead projector and then grabbed the Walmart map, and we're like, all right, well, yeah, let's grab it right about here.
Mr. Schwarzkopf, it's right here. Right here. No. Blow it up.
Fire. Fire. Old Stormin' Norman. And finally, did you know when a crow dies, dozens will gather silently around the body for up to 30 minutes? Biologists discovered that it's not mourning. It's actually a mafia-style learning session. The crows study the dead bird and its surroundings to figure out what killed it and how, whether it was a predator, a car, or a human. If a human was involved, they remember that specific human's face and will dive bomb or scold them for years. There are documented cases of crows mobbing the same university professor every day for over a decade because he once handled a dead crow during an experiment.
If that isn't a horror movie ready to be written, I don't know what is.
Well,
you could write that, and people would be like, "Oh, that's just Hollywood theatrics bullshit." Like, no, this is real shit. That's so wild. I was about to make a joke about joining the birds who are mourning, be like, "Hey guys, how you doing? look at that thing."
I could be wrong, but a grouping of crows is called a murder. And I'm wondering if that act is called a murderer's row.
Mm.
And even though they're birds, it's still applicable to how scary it fucking is.
Dude, that's what I was gonna say. Like whether or not Hitchcock knew this. I mean, he made a horrific movie about birds attacking people, and obviously it's not a lot of crows, but damn, just. They don't need mapologists to figure out where the house is. It's like, hey, him, get him forever.
Dude, I was delivering to a liquor store and I heard them. I looked up and there was a fucking raven. Because a raven looks different, is just different from a crow, from a blackbird. I mean, just the fucking like a black cockatoo sitting up on top of this street lamp, and I was just looking at him, and he started looking at me, and I was just like, "What's up, buddy?" And he kind of, and I was like, "Hey, buddy." And I was just like, "Man, I need to make friends with him," because apparently, if you give them treats, and then next to the treat you start giving, I don't know, let's say you put a dollar bill, and then you put a peanut down. And you do that every day for a while, eventually they'll start bringing you dollar bills because they know that they link the two together. So there's people out there that train these birds to go fetch the things that they want, and they'll do it for them as long as they keep giving them treats.
Damn, you need to start doing women's panties and things like that. All the good stuff.
Ooh, hold on. Teach them that you want sports bras and give them treats right around gyms. Is that pornographic? I don't know. It sure is fun.
My OnlyFans page, crow retrieval.
Just
what do you got for me, buddy? What do you got for me, buddy? Ooh, she just worked out.
That's worth the pepperoni.
Tell your friends.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
So tonight on Before You Go, Murd mentioned it a little bit earlier, not to kill the lead on flat Earth science, but Columbia, the attire and they make more than clothing. They make book bags and some other shit. But Columbia, we all know that, challenges flat earthers as part of Boulder marketing revamp. So basically, if they challenge you to take a picture of the end of the earth, and they're going to give you $100,000 worth of Columbia shit. This is the quote this is the quote I want to recite to you. Christ, I do it and I want to, it's Boyle. Damn it. What's the guy's name? Okay. Tim Boyle, CEO. He quotes, he says, "This is the message to flat earthers. I've seen your manifestos, admired your diagrams, watched you stand proudly on your, flat ground. So here's the deal. It's time to put your map where your mouth is," writes Boyle in an open letter running to the Times. "Our gear is built to handle anything. So I'm inviting you to do the one thing in history that no one has ever done. Find the edge of the earth." So, flat earthers, you take a picture of the edge of the earth. Columbia is going to give you $100,000 worth of their shit. That is today's Before You Go. Murr?
I thought they were giving away more than that, but that's still a great marketing ploy, is finally prove your point. And I will give you whatever. I'll give you the store. It's yours.
Yeah. It says, and also, like, here's the thing. Maybe we can dissect this a little bit later, but it's $100,000 in a line of inclusive of outdoor gear. Okay, that makes sense. Office plants. What the fuck? And then mannequins and more. Why do I want a Columbia mannequin? What the
Well, maybe they're setting up for a franchise owner and saying, like, we're gonna give you a startup company with all of Columbia gear, and in some way they'll profit off
the Columbia Flat Earth division.
Yes, and then we'll lead expeditions to the edge of the earth. I mean, end of the day, more companies should do this. They should find zealots who have a point that is not provable, promise them an enormous amount of wealth, and basically force them to buy their gear. It just seems like a win-win for everybody.
See, James Randi, and I don't know if he was a former magician who went into kind of a skeptic debunker. He had a million. It was a $10,000 challenge, which later on led to, up until about the time of his death, and I think he passed away in 2019, $1 million challenge where if you could perform or prove paranormal or some sort of psychic ability, they'd pay you the $1 million, and you had to prove it under his parameters. You had to come in here, tell me what you can do. Okay, I want you to prove it with a series of tests in front of a bunch of people. It never came to fruition. Never, no one could ever be a medium. No one could ever be a, what's the shit where you can you can, like a quasi Magneto.
Bend things with your mind. Uri Geller was the one that he like really showed up on the Carson show. And his whole point was that you can't claim these types of things. For example, that what's his name? Oz, the guy, the mentalist that's out there right now that's all over the place. He's doing a lot of shit with the NFL teams and things, and you know what I'm talking about? He reads your mind.
No. Yes. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So he never claims to be anything other than, this is a trick. I'm doing a trick. Well, if you claim that what you were doing was not a trick, then the great Randy was like, fuck you, I'm going to expose you then. Because you got to tell him it's a trick. Because what was happening at the time, too, you got to remember, this was like... By
the way, I like that you point out the distinction of, this is a trick, this isn't paranormal. I'm really good at performing tricks. I'm not receiving this message from God, or I'm not otherworldly.
Yeah, because for example, whatever you think about David Copperfield and his personal life and all that, he always claimed that he was an illusionist. He never claimed that he was a magician or like, I have ethereal powers to perform these mystical arts. No, he said, I'm going to trick you. That's what I'm doing. It's not, I didn't actually make the Statue of Liberty disappear. I tricked you to think that it looked like I made the trick. He never claimed otherwise. If you claim that what you were doing was a real phenomenon, the Amazing Randy would come after you. Yeah. That was his whole point. Because at the time, televangelists were taking advantage of a lot of people. And James Randi was like, that ain't fucking happening on my fucking watch. And so, he would, great.
There was a really good one. He was on, it was Sylvia Brown had one of her assistants on because she couldn't make an interview. And I don't think it was Larry King, but he was explaining, like, it's $1 million. Who doesn't want $1 million? And she said, Sylvia Brown doesn't have anything to prove to you. And he said, well, that's true. She doesn't have anything to prove to me. I'm just challenging her. I thought that was such a great line. And which put, like, a company like Columbia that prides itself on, gear or attire to, for the ultimate outdoorsman or adventurous. Like, yes, we love bio, we love the world, we love Earth, and we want to outfit you with the warmest, safest gear you can imagine. Okay, flat earthers, here you go. Put your money where your fucking mouth is. I love it. I love it.
Go out on the adventure of humanity's lifetime and prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. We'd love for you to do it. So we'll give you all this shit if you're right, which we know you're not. So come buy our shit and set off. Have fun.
That's right. Yeah, and that's like none of them will do it. They'll always say, no, well, the parameters are all weird, and the what they're trying to ask us to do is impossible. How the hell am I supposed to get there?
I will say the only hiccup here is I feel like if Colombia really wants to put their money where their mouth is, an ambitious group of flat earthers would have to create a proposal, come to Colombia, say, outfit us, and then we'll set out on this journey. If we're successful, then you give us this.
Dude, if that's the case, this James Cameron could step in. This could be the ultimate fucking documentary. Cool. Yes, you're going to wear Columbia gear, and we're going to give you all the boats and planes and all the gear that you fucking need. You tell us where to go. You give us the coordinates.
There's another one out there, by the way. One of these flat earthers somehow weasels his way to go down to Antarctica, and he's got to eat crow, like, in the middle of a fucking, like, snow-covered field. And he's like, yeah, I ran my experiment. Yeah, I don't know if there's something wrong with, there's always something wrong with the equipment.
Yeah. Who tested this? Who calibrated this equipment? Yeah, it's fucking.
But man, it came out exactly like the real scientist said it would. And he's just like, so we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying.
Well, kudos to Columbia. Kudos to Eric Boyle. Appreciate it. I'm going to keep my ear to the grindstone on this one. I'm going to see if anyone's going to put their money where their mouth is. So, hey, folks, you can catch the Middle Class Holes on all your social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. You can email us at tickleourtummies@gmail.com. Haven't gotten an email in a little bit. Come on, Keith, where you been, brother? I'm probably going to see him Sunday at the Sunderland-Newcastle match. I might have to be like, hey, Keith, I haven't seen you in a year. Where the fuck's those emails? Anyway, neither here nor there. We'll be back next week. We have a special co-host / guest on the show. Top 10. Well, never mind. Should I say that? Because this is not going to be part of the podcast. Nah, whatever. It's Christmas time's upon us. I don't know, man. I'm getting all festive and jolly. That's the other thing, too. I wanted to say this in the opening. I have long kind of dreaded the post-Thanksgiving Christmas jingle on the airwaves all the time. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? No.
Like Christmas music hits the airwaves on Black Friday.
Sometimes it's earlier than that, but yes, okay.
It starts, and what I found is, in my brief psychological experiment with myself, which I don't know, there's probably some biases involved. I didn't look forward to it. Now that I just said, fuck it, I'm ignoring it. I'm not going to even talk about how much I hate it. I found myself singing Christmas tunes the Saturday after Thanksgiving when it was on the airwaves. It's like, yeah, rocking around the Christmas tree.
Okay, you and your brother. All right, what is your aversion to joy?
It's not joy. It's just like they wanted, it's like Oktoberfest coming out in fucking August.
I guess, but I don't know, man. I feel like there's certain people. Either you like Christmas music or you don't. But I get it. But
it's almost like running to the bulls, man. It's like, okay, Thanksgiving's over. Every airwave, let those goddamn bulls out. Let them out.
Can I tell you? Jingle bell. I know we're wrapping this up, but I want to tell you a trick that we played as a radio company. So, the radio company I worked for there were very few mom and pop radio outfits out there. We were a cluster of 5 stations. And then we had Westwood One right down the road. Now, Westwood One's thing was they were going to be the first to get Christmas music on the air. And if somebody beat them to the punch, they had a switch that their entire programming, they could literally turn the music off from whatever pop station they were at the time, instantly go to their Christmas programming. So on October 31st one year, we flipped the station for 1 hour and played Christmas music. They flipped their entire format. We changed ours right back as soon as they did. They didn't turn back. They got so much shit for that, playing fucking Christmas music on Halloween. Oh, it was the greatest on-air practical joke that I feel like I've ever heard of in the radio business, and we were responsible for it. And a small fucking neck of the United States. It was glorious because we all fucking we're like, all right, is Jack FM flipping? Yeah, all right, flip Jack FM right now. And then we all just sat by the radio until they turned their fucking programming over. And then we instantly went and changed ours back. It was awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine the DJs on like November 3rd. Like, and now it's simply having a wonderful Christmas by Paul McCartney. Good for you. Good for you. That's a good joke. All right, we will be back next week. We'll discuss, I don't know, man. We got 2 holidays back to back. We'll try to get y'all something. Oh, you goddamn
Quit being so goddamn depressing.
We'll get you something. We'll fucking get on here and record. Kiss my ass, man. I love you. See you later.